Trent Grisham is coming back, but a lot of Yankee fans are not happy about it. We'll talk about that and more on an all-new live edition of Locked On Yankees next.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias. He's Brian McKeon. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is now the #1 sports podcast network. We'd like to thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm a little frustrated, and I think Brian Cashman got caught off guard.
Do you? Interesting. We will talk about that in a second, because there's a lot to get through with this qualifying offer stuff, because some people don't understand what's going on. So we're going to go through it all in segment one, but let's talk about what's going on otherwise. The Orioles and Angels made a trade on Tuesday that was extremely interesting. So we're going to talk about that. And what are we talking about in segment 2? Why can't I remember? Oh, yes. Baseball deals, ESPN, NBC, Peacock. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on now because everything's going to be new in 2026. So we're going to do the rundown per Andrew Marchand of The Athletic. Thanks to him for being on top of all this. But first, let's discuss Trent Grisham and the qualifying offer that he accepted.
Yeah, so $22.05 million is the salary for Trent Grisham for 2026. He is the 5th highest paid Yankee going into next season. I'll be straightforward with you. I don't think Brian Cashman or anyone involved with the Yankees thought there was a chance that Trent Grisham was taking this qualifying offer, because they might have loved Trent Grisham as a player, and they might think that he's a really solid player. Now, the analytics do show that his fielding stats have gone down, and I don't think anyone in their right mind really believes that he's the player that he was last season. I mean, based on his career statistics, he's not close to that player. Here's the problem, Stacey. He just took a deal for $22 million for next year. And no matter where he would have signed next year, no matter who would have offered him a deal, heck, I'm sure the Yankees would like to admit they would have wanted him back. There's no chance anyone was going to pay him $22 million per year. Not even remotely close to that. And you learn that more so because he didn't take a long-term deal. And if there was a semblance of a long-term deal offered to him, I'm sure he would have wanted to take that. But he sat there and saw 1 year, $22 million, and took it, bet on himself at 28 years old. A lot of people would have. And now the Yankees sit here, and because of their, dare I say, greed to try and get an extra draft pick out of it, which, by the way, making a $22 million gamble for an extra draft pick is lunacy, but that's what they did. Trying to get an extra draft pick out of expecting him to deny this qualifying offer just made their offseason a heck of a lot more complicated. Just made the future of Jason Dominguez a heck of a lot more complicated. Just made their salary structure a heck of a lot more complicated. They made their offseason way more difficult than it needed to be because they were, quite frankly, arrogant in thinking that Trent Grisham was going to turn down this qualifying offer. And he didn't. He took $22 million, which again is way, way, way above what anyone would have paid him next year. And now they're caught with a career 218 hitter who analytically fielding numbers have gone down. And now you're paying that player $22 million next year. They got, quite frankly, they got caught off guard with this move.
You think so, really? You think they didn't expect him to take this because he only made $5 million last year?
There's no way they expect him to take this. There's
Seriously?
no way. Why would you offer it to him otherwise? If you wanted, and because they're going to spin it publicly like they wanted Trent Grisham back and they're glad he took it. Of course, that's what they're going to do.
Right.
And if you really believe that, you would have let him hit free agency and you would have brought him back for significantly less than 20. Like you said, he made $5 million last year, which means you could have offered him a 3-year deal for $12 million per year and he probably would have took it.
Right. Well, the other thing is, this is the first year where this many guys have taken qualifying offers, because out of the 144 players that have gotten them before this year, only 14 of them had taken the qualifying offers. That's only 8.9% of guys who were offered qualifying offers from 2012 to 2024 took them. And this year, you see an uptick where there were at least, 4 guys who did it. I really think that the timing of it, and because of the lockout, guys who probably weren't going to get a lot of traction in the free agent market, guys who aren't Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette, were like, what? Let me take the qualifying offer.
Well, I think a lot of them are starting to realize too, because of the structure of the qualifying offer, they're getting, paid a significant amount of more money than for 1 year of service than they would normally. And I think it sticks with these guys too. Again, Trent Grisham wasn't going to sniff $22 million.
I mean, look at Gleyber Torres. He's getting 22 now. He had 15 last year.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. And he didn't remotely expect to get paid that. So,
no.
And I think there might have been a multi-year deal out there for Trent Grisham, but let's just play a numbers game, right? Let's say he would have got a 3-year deal for $12 million a year. He probably sat there and said $22 million for 1 year is better than 36 over 3. So I'll take my risk of getting $22 million for 1 season, and then I'll see if I can hit the market again. Again, this is not a 35-year-old player who won't be eligible for a multi-year deal afterwards. If he goes out there and hits 35 home runs, which, by the way, every major league player who has confidence in themselves, of course, Trent Grisham thinks he's going to hit 35 home runs again next year, or 34. He, of course, thinks he's going to do that again. So every player who has confidence in themselves thinks they're going to go back out there, have a great year, and he's like, I'll cash in on a multi-year deal next year. That's what he's thinking.
That's what I was thinking, because this year was such an outlier for him, because if anyone looked into the past to see how he normally performed,
bingo,
he wasn't going to get anything. So I think that, obviously this is smart for him, because he takes the $22 million. He has another year to prove that he can do this again. And maybe he does. And then maybe that helps him get a better deal. Because like you said,
even if he does that, even if he does that and he gets a multi-year deal, is the multi-year deal going to pay him 3 years, $66 million?
Right.
No chance. He's not going to ever make $22 million again in his career, I don't think, per year. That's what's crazy about this deal. And I think because, like you said, of the history of the qualifying offer and the what is it, 94% of players who ever been offered the qualifying offer decline it. And the team, it feels like you offer the player a qualifying offer and it's an automatic free draft pick for next year. And that's how teams view it.
Right.
But to me, if there's a remote chance that that player is going to accept the qualifying offer, you can't risk $22 million for the potential of getting a draft pick, because whoever this draft pick is, Jason Dominguez was the highest paid international player of all time. He didn't sniff $22 million. No draft pick is worth that amount of money. And I think that's where the Yankee greed got caught, is they were arrogant and thought there is no way Trent Grisham's accepting this offer because he thinks he's going to get a multi-year deal. And lo and behold, Trent Grisham went ahead, accepted the offer, and now look where they are. Now, I mean, you're at $270 million now on the payroll. So you're creeping up. You're $30 million short of the luxury tax, which the Yankees ideally probably don't want to go over it, but might have to at this point. So that's A.
Hal's going to have to suck it up. I'm sorry. Suck it up, Hal. You're the owner of the Yankees. Just pay the luxury tax. Stop bitching and moaning about it.
Listen, I agree with you, but let's just talk about baseball economics in a whole, though.
Yeah.
Like, now you're paying Trent Grisham $22 million next year, and that's not market value. Say what you want about the player, and the Yankees making all the money they make. We know $22 million is found in Hal Steinbrenner's ashtray. The point is that bad business is still bad business no matter how many billions of dollars you're worth, right? Billionaires are billionaires because they haven't made bad financial decisions and they don't make bad business. And this is bad business. It is. Trent Grisham, his market value is not close to $22 million per year. It's about $10 million short of that. So you're paying a guy way above what he deserves to be earning based on his skill set. And that's where you're catching yourself. And now, where do you lie with your decisions, Stacey? Because now, yes, you can still go after Kyle Tucker. You can still go after Cody Bellinger. Sure, and those guys would be great to have back. What do you do with Jason Dominguez then? Does he just become a bench player next year? Does one of the highest touted prospects in all of baseball, who had a pretty solid rookie year last year, who you claim that you want to keep developing, does he just ride the bench next year? Is there no position for him going into next year? Are you secretly kind of saying, oh, well, if someone gets hurt, we have a position for Dominguez? What if no one gets hurt? That by this happening, you pigeonholed yourself into a spot that you can't really squeeze your way out of. Because Even if Trent Grisham accepted this and you think you can dump the salary on somebody else and, get them to take that, no one's taking Trent Grisham for this salary. No one's bringing this on. No one's going to willingly help the Yankees clear this salary. So you have, from the greed of wanting a extra draft pick, you have pigeonholed yourself into a position that you might not be able to get yourself out of. And that's the concern that I have for this team.
Right. Because it's a compensatory draft pick. So this is just an added draft pick. It's not that they're not losing a draft pick. They're just not getting the extra.
Yeah. And they thought $22 million was worth it for an extra draft pick. And I can't sit here and tell you that makes any sense to me.
Yeah. But
unless they were so sure he was declining it. And that's why I think they're caught off guard, because they must have been so damn sure there's no way he's accepting this offer. And look what happened.
But why would they think that? He only made $5 million last year. I would take 22 if someone were offering me 5, especially with a lockout coming up and not knowing what the future would hold.
That's the point. With the lockout, most players want long-term deals because they want security. They want to get paid next year. If they don't play baseball next year in 2027, Trent Grisham's not going to make any money. Now, $22 million, I know I'm crying crocodile tears for you. I'm sure he'll put food on the table. But regardless, he's not securing an income in 2027. He's taking that risk. Whereas you'd think a lot more guys would want to take a 3-year deal, even if it's for less AAV, because at least you're getting paid through 2027 at that point. I think they figured that. They were wrong.
Can someone ask him about that?
Yeah, he ain't going to answer that, honestly.
Right. Like I wish
neither are Cashman and Hal, by the way. That's the frustrating part.
No one's going to answer honestly about this.
We as the media on these live streams and on our shows for the rest of the offseason are going to be the ones giving you the truth. And I it's hard to say believe the media, but do in this sense, because you better believe it that the organization is going to feed you a whole bunch of BS this offseason, telling you that they wanted him back and they love that he's back and he's great for the organization and they're glad that he signed this deal. They might have wanted Trent Grisham back, and those things might all be true. They didn't want him back at $22 million a year because no one would have signed him for $22 million a year.
No, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I'd like to have $22 right now if anyone has it. I'm kidding. All right, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, and hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also listen to us on every podcasting platform available, and you can follow us on Instagram at Locked On Yankees. I noticed we got a bunch of followers, so thank you for that. Coming up, we're going to discuss all the different deals that are going to be happening TV-wise for baseball.
The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel. It's the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to all the fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a much bigger payout. Now, I love getting involved in the Knicks during every single NBA day that they play. NBA Cup days, those are always fun. Plus, NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, Premier League is back this week. It's all happening. It's all available on FanDuel. Plus, it keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is able to make that late game push. So right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Head over to FanDuel.com to sign up today and play your game with FanDuel. It's the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Guys, thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Every Friday, we answer your questions, and now we're opening it up to comments as well. If you're not a part of the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club, this is what you do. You go to Locked On Yankees YouTube channel, click on the post tab, and you'll see the latest post telling you to leave your questions and comments. You can ask us about the Yankees, baseball in general, leave us comments about the show, our lives, whatever you want to hear about. The deadline this week is Thursday, November 20th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Stacey, really some interesting stuff that happened in baseball's media rights deal. It doesn't affect the future of Fox Sports and TBS, the coverage that they provide for the World Series and the postseason. But ESPN, a big player, NBC, a big player, Peacock, a big player, Netflix, a player. Some teams are getting rid of their blackout rules. A lot of weird stuff going on. Please read it off to us. Let us know.
Yeah, so ESPN is expected to retain around 30 national games as part of its new deal with MLB through the 2028 season. And that complements the addition of MLB TV out of market, the package that they're going to pick up, because ESPN is going to be in charge of that now. It's not going to be MLB being in charge of that, which is interesting. The
A bummer if you're a T-Mobile member, because if you're like me, who's been taking advantage of the T-Mobile package the MLB had with the relationship the two of them had, if you had T-Mobile the last few years, they gave you a free MLB TV package with your T-Mobile plan.
According to this, at least for the first year, you'll be able to have it for free. But after that, you might have an issue. Let's see. The MLB TV package will be available to consumers on both the ESPN app and MLB platforms to start. And the oh my gosh, I can't speak. Oh my God, why can't I speak? See, this is what happens. Before we started the show, I said, we do really well live. We don't usually have problems. Delivery. There we go. Of local streaming for the 6 clubs, Diamondbacks, Twins, Guardians, Padres, and Rockies. Will be on MLB platforms to start. They're going to be in control of those 6 teams, which is also really interesting to me. I don't understand any of that, like why that's happening, but maybe you know better than I do.
So you'll be able to stream all those games on MLB TV from now on. So basically what it's doing is it's getting rid of the blackout rules that commonly occur, where if you're in that region, you can't stream a game on a certain platform. Like basically if you're in New York, the MLB TV package will have the Yankees and Mets on it. If you're outside of New York, if you're in New York, you can't watch those games on MLB TV. You'd have to go over to Gotham Sports or whatever. I forget what the Mets use. Is it the SNY app now? Or it used to be NBC, whatever it is. I apologize for not knowing. If you're in the New York area, you can't watch those games on the ESPN app. You can watch those games on their streaming platform. These 6 franchises are getting rid of the blackout rule together, and you can actually watch the game on their streaming platform app or on the ESPN app, which is the way that it all should work for all leagues. I don't know why the blackout rule still exists, but that's basically a short summation of what's going on here.
Yeah, ESPN has not decided how it'll sell MLB TV, but it's expected to be at the same $150 per year that subscribers paid when it was under the league's control. So at least they're not going to raise the prices of that. You already mentioned this, but opening day, Yankees against the Giants will be on Netflix. That'll be interesting. The Field of Dreams game will also be on Netflix. That'll be between the Phillies and the Minnesota Twins. And that was all previously on Fox. So I wonder who they're going to get to be on Netflix, if they're going to get totally different people, if people are going to be able to do different. I wonder how that's going to work.
Well, and I'll tell you this, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have problems with the way that this is going, with the games being opening day, being on Netflix and everything like that. If you're one of those people watching who is not good at streaming and doesn't want to accept streaming and doesn't like that era of watching sports, I would advise you, and I hate to be this person, but it's the truth, get used to it, because this is the future. This is what's happening. This is how, it's not just baseball. Football does it with, every Thursday night, the game's on Amazon Prime TV for football. The NBA is now doing it with games on Peacock and Amazon Prime. This is all sports leagues. They're all going to this direction. So I think it's crazy that Netflix is broadcasting a Major League Baseball game on opening day nonetheless, but that's what's going on. And that's where the future of the world's going. And I don't think this is the first year of Netflix, and I don't think it'll be the last.
So this next item is funny for me, because if you don't know, if you're new to the show, or if you didn't hear me talk about this, I worked for NBC for nearly 10 years. And when I first started in 1999, NBC was like #1 in every single day part. They had baseball, they had basketball, they didn't have football yet, but they had like basically everything. Then they slowly started losing everything, to the point where we joked about how NBC Sports was now NBC Sport, because they only had one thing that they were broadcasting. So now NBC will be the new home of Sunday Night Baseball, and they will broadcast the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, so ESPN retained a lot of their rights, but lost Sunday Night Baseball, which is crucial. I think that was a big grab for them. It is crazy that it's on ESPN and NBC, because for a while, NBC had Sunday Night Football. That was their big thing. And they had hockey, right? And those were the 2 big things that they were carrying for a while. And now they're getting themselves involved in baseball. When's the last time that NBC, you might have just said this and I missed it. When's the last time that they carried baseball?
I believe it was 2000.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a near quarter century since they've covered baseball. Crazy stuff. Just out of curiosity, mainly because I'm hoping there's a bad answer here so you can get frustrated, because it'll be kind of funny. Did they announce who the announcers are going to be, like the play-by-play and the color guys for NBC?
I didn't see anything yet.
Okay.
From what I was looking at on the Athletics. This is all from Andrew Marchand. Andrew Marchand, thank you for all of this.
I'm just wondering without these new, without Fox's postseason deal secured for the future yet, if John Smoltz is going to be looking for another employer.
Ugh. You know, you see what he does to me? Okay. NBC's first game will be a standalone matchup on the second night of the season featuring the Los Angeles Dodgers, who will raise their World Series banner, and they will be playing against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, good matchup.
Yeah, the 8-12 playoff games, whose total is obviously dependent on how the series go in the first round, and if there are third games involved in the wildcard round, they're expected to be split between NBC and Peacock, and then Peacock will also take over Roku's late Sunday morning package. So then Peacock is going to do that again.
People are gonna hate this. Like
I like the Sunday morning games.
I don't. No. Sunday morning games I kind of like. I actually loved when the Yankees played a few of them. Like we got the shows done by 3:00. It was beautiful. For our selfish sake, it's great.
Right.
People are gonna hate postseason games being on Peacock.
Oh yeah,
so much. Like it doesn't bother me. Like I'm good with all the technology and the apps and everything. Like it doesn't. I have Roku's on every TV in my house. I have no problem with it at all.
Yeah.
People are going to despise this.
Oh yeah.
So much. It's especially like the older generation, like the generation above you. Like I don't know if your mom. I don't know if your mom watches like a lot of baseball, but like I'm assuming her generation is going to despise.
No, but she has a friend who just turned 90. And she doesn't have all this stuff, and she's loves watching the Yankees all the time, and it's hard for her to. She doesn't have Amazon, and so
my grandmother's the same way. My grandmother watches every single Yankee game, but when it's an Amazon Prime game on a Wednesday, my grandma just says, "Guess there's no baseball tonight." If it's not on the Yes Network, she doesn't like go to find it on Amazon. So it is frustrating for that crowd, but the way MLB looks at it, and this is just the hard, honest truth. They don't care about that generation.
No,
they care about the younger generation, and they need to draw the younger generation.
Well,
the
that's
children
why stadiums are so loud, because they cater to the younger generation. They don't care about the people who are complaining that their ears hurt from the manufactured noise every 5 seconds. They care about the kids because they want them to be involved in.
Because the kids are the future of spending money on the sport, not the older generation. It's a sad truth, but that's the way life works.
All right, coming up next. The Orioles made an interesting trade. I can't wait to talk about this with you because a lot of people the reactions were funny. So we're going to talk about the Grayson Rodriguez trade next. So this came across the wire, otherwise known as social media, on Tuesday. And most people's reactions were, really? Because Grayson Rodriguez has not pitched since midway through the 2024 season. He got traded for a pretty good player in Taylor Ward. So what's happening here? What do you think is happening here?
Yeah, so Taylor Ward last year, 36 homers, 103 RBIs. He had a tremendous season. Now, he did hit 229, which isn't great, but he gave the power numbers. And that's a modern-day power hitter.
Pretty much.
Right? It's just low average, lots of production. And we did state the other day on the show, the Orioles, right out of the what was the report that we did the GM meetings. The report that came out of the GM meetings, we both told you the Orioles' goal was going to be power hitting, productive outfielder. And we both sat here and said, well, then why would you let Anthony Santander go a year prior when that's what you're looking for him? They went out, they got Taylor Ward, and this is confusing to me. I don't understand what they're doing. Keep in mind, Grayson Rodriguez, while health has been a concern for him, when he's available and on the mound, he's awesome.
Right.
Like he's a really good pitcher when he's available. So that's what the confusing part about this is to me is why would the Orioles get rid of one of their better young arms to bring in a player that they could have acquired for money? Like not Taylor Ward, but they could have gotten another power hitter. Like those guys are available. I don't think it would have taken this much. And if you're the Angels, why give up your most productive numbers-wise player for a pitcher who's unbelievably injury prone? On both sides, this trade is confusing to me. Yeah,
because a lot of people were joking that something must be seriously wrong with Grayson Rodriguez for the Orioles to just be like, here, take him to the Angels.
Well, yeah. And you know what? Sometimes it does get to that point with certain players in leagues, right, where you just keep getting hurt to the point where the organization just, we can't do this anymore.
Right.
A la Yankees with Aaron Hicks. Like, it just got to the point where it was, all right, you're hurt every other week. We can't just keep doing this. So
by the way, quickly, congrats to Aaron Hicks for winning that MLB golf tournament.
Oh, yes. By the way, tremendous golfer. Like,
yeah. Good
always known as being a really, really good golfer.
Representing the Twins, Aaron Hicks, when the Yankees are still paying you money.
Oh, and congratulations to another guy the Yankees are still paying money, DJ LeMahieu, who is the 8th highest paid Yankee this year at $19 million. So that should be fun too. Yeah, that's the thing. So maybe my point of view is maybe the Orioles were just done with the injuries from Grayson Rodriguez, and they basically said the risk and concern for injury for him pretty much 24/7 outweighs the production he could possibly give us. That's the thought process that I'm in with this whole thing. Do I necessarily agree with that? No, but I see how organizations get to that point at times. And if they're so desperate for a power hitter and they don't think the market suggests they're going to be able to go get one, and this trade was available for them, sure. To that point, though, why would the Angels make this deal then? Like, say what you want. Go to the injury concern. Mike Trout is that way for the Angels.
Right.
Productive player.
Anthony Rendon, hello.
Exactly. So this is their most productive hitter, Taylor Ward. So to me, it's why would they just willingly give him up for, again, a pitcher who, what is it, 60-40, he's healthy next year? I don't know why you would make this trade. On both sides, to me, are confusing on this trade.
But for the Orioles, now this really means that they have to, well, I mean, they need pitching anyway. They've needed pitching
for a while.
Yeah. So this is like an excuse for them to actually really go out and finally the Orioles, I know they're a rival and people are going to be like, why are you saying this? But the Orioles need to take advantage of the fact that it's new ownership. They have money to spend the money. Why aren't you spending the money? It drives me crazy when teams have money that they don't want to spend.
I'd agree with you completely. Taylor Ward is in the last year of arbitration, so he's a free agent. Next year. He's a one more year of control after this season. His salary next year is going to be $11.2 million, and that counts fully towards the luxury tax. It's only 4% of the Orioles' luxury tax, $11 million. So of their hit next year. So it's a player with 2 more years of control. He's a free agent after the 2027 season. Like we've said, though, likely it's 1 year of control. So you traded, if they lock out, it's 1 year of control. So you just traded one of the top young pitchers who, again, can't stay healthy, but one of the top talent profile young pitchers in the league for 1 year of Taylor Ward. And I'm saying that because the CBA does expire going into next year. Like, maybe they'll sign another one. I don't think anyone expects them to sign it mid-season or anytime soon. People think it's going to go through the season and potentially lock out next season. So if we don't play a 2027 season, he still becomes a free agent. It's not like that year comes off his docket. So they're basically paying for 1 year of Taylor Ward for a really talented pitcher. And again, his arbitration price is $11 million, which means the next year it's probably like $13 million. So they're paying like $23 million for a year of Taylor Ward and Grayson Rodriguez. That's a lot. That's a lot for the Orioles to give up for, again, a power hitter that you could have got Trent Grisham for that price. I mean, like, let's be honest. And I thought Trent Grisham, by the way, speaking of that, would have been a good fit for the Orioles. Like, that would have been they wanted a guy who put up power numbers last year and can man center field. Boom, there you go. I mean, that would have fit their profile perfectly. It didn't get to that point, obviously, but I think for both sides, this trade is kind of confusing. And for the Angels, what are you doing?
Well, speaking of the Angels, the GM said that he believes Rodriguez will be ready for spring training and that he'll start throwing bullpens in January. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the Orioles have believed that for the last few years. What would you call it? Like a 65-35 split that he's healthy? The guy's just never available. And like trust me, the Angels are more than any franchise used to that. Of players.
Oh yeah, they're well versed in having players that they can't play because they're injured all the time.
They'll be fine. They'll be used to it. They have a program ready for him. They'll follow the Mike Trout or the Anthony Rendon list. So I don't think they'll have a problem with that. But it's confusing to me why Taylor Ward has this, what people are calling breakout year last year, and this was your response.
Would you say the Anthony Rendon contract is worse than the Jacoby Ellsbury contract?
Oh, by far.
Because you got a few productive years out of Ellsbury. Yeah.
I mean, you didn't. Now I have a better debate for you. The Anthony Rendon contract or the Steven Strasburg contract.
Ooh.
The Strasburg one is all-time bad because
Yeah.
and this is the example of sometimes poorly run organizations luck their way into winning a World Series, but by just having talent. And that was the Nationals. The Nationals lucked their way into that World Series. They got in, they beat fair and square. They won that World Series. It was a great series. But good organizations know Steven Strasburg's track record of staying healthy, and they say, thank you for your service. We'll invite you back to Old Timers Day, whatever they call it, and go let the Angels give you a 7-year deal.
We'll elect you into the Nats Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You'll have your picture up in the stadium. Yeah.
Bad organizations have Steven Strasburg do what he did in the World Series, and they pay him $220 million over 7 years. Stacey, that contract has 2 years left on it.
Unbelievable.
There's 2 years left on it for Steven Strasburg. It's one of the crazier. He didn't pitch into that contract.
We should have done a show about this because people are always complaining about, like, the Yankees have had some all-time busts of contracts, but there are other teams who have contracts that people don't make a big deal out of because they're not a team like the Yankees or the Mets or anyone. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's been some brutal ones out there. I mean, Carl Crawford with the Red Sox. There's the Adrian Gonzalez with the Red Sox. Like, there's some really bad ones out there.
Oh yeah.
But it'd be hard pressed to find one worse than Steven Strasburg. I mean, that is one of the worst contracts. He didn't pitch under the deal, and he's got 2 years left on it. I mean, and again, good organizations thank him for his service, let him walk, and let the Angels give him that deal. But instead, they brought him in, and woof, bad deal.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us here at 4:00 on a Wednesday. We had 90 people watching us. So we appreciate that a lot. And, some of the people are talking about the baseball rights and the TV rights and how they grew up watching. We watched the Yankees on Channel 11. We watched Scooter, Bill White, every time a Yankee hit a home run, it was sponsored, and they'd say, "This Bud's for you," because Budweiser sponsored every home run that was hit, which was pretty cool. So that's like my childhood. Like, that's what I think of. And now you have to have every kind of app available in order to watch TV, but it's the future. It's 2020. We are 10 years past the time when Marty McFly went into the future. So it's expected that baseball is not going to be the same as it was in 1985.
Most people don't have cable anymore.
Right. We don't. We cut the cord 2 years ago, and it's great. It's great.
Some people listening are horrified.
Although it's becoming like cable now because you have to have all these different services and everything.
Well, yeah, it's the same price.
Yeah. Yeah. But
crazy.
Yeah, we cut the cord 2 years ago. Don't want to go back. So
can't blame you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB. Baseball guru Sully brings you a daily blend of humor and baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. You can find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And that's going to do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.